Guys, and welcome to Diabetic 365. And today we have Shannon, and her kid is diagnosed with diabetes, type 1 diabetes, 2 years back. So we have her mom and dad here to share her experiences of all these 2 years. So welcome, guys.
Hi.
So the first question is, when Elle was diagnosed with diabetes, so how did this all happen? Is it anything that's running in your family genetically, or is it something just out of blue that came up?
It's kind of hard to say. There was a little bit, from my side of the family, we believe that my grandmother had diabetes and died actually at a young age, relatively young age. She lived in rural Montana, so there wasn't a lot of access to medical care, and since then, I mean, not a lot of people have talked about it within the family, so it's hard to say. I don't think there's any on your side.
No, actually, I didn't know about his grandmother with diabetes until after she was diagnosed, because it just wasn't something that was even on our radar at all.
Mm-hmm. So the first question was like, you guys were kind of, this just came up in the blue, and you didn't know what to do, and you never had any previous experience. So how did you take this?
It was very shocking, obviously.
Yeah, I'm more of a planner, I guess, when it comes to challenges and anything else that might come up in front of me. So instead of initially being scared and so forth, I kind of thought about it more along the lines of, okay, now what? What's the next step? What's the next process in this?
So you were more confident then?
I don't know about...
I mean, in handling this stuff.
Maybe. I'm not sure about confidence as much as what's the next step. I kind of look at everything as a process. So, okay, we've got this now. Now what's the next step? How do we move on forward from here and so forth? So that's kind of how I reacted to it at first. And then later, after it all sunk in at the hospital at 2 in the morning, it was a little bit more scary.
So what was your next step? How was the first week of her diagnosis like? What was your experience?
I would compare it to when we first brought her home from the hospital when she was first born. There was a lot of confusion, feeling very overwhelmed, a lot of sleep deprivation. We just sort of went through it, hoping we would get from the next day to the next day, but it's kind of a blur, really, much like when she was first born.
Mm-hmm. So the next step was, I mean, the main step here is teaching her, watching her, and also teaching what she ate and also how she took care of herself. So how did you do that as a mom and dad?
From the very beginning, we had her take an active role, I believe, in counting carbs straight away, making sure that she knew where to look for carbs, how to find carbs on packaging, and any other tools that we may have had. We had the Carb King, I think it is.
Calorie
King, I'm sorry. We used that extensively in the beginning, before we found that there were a lot of other options out on the internet and or apps on smartphones. Mm-hmm. And from the very beginning, just kind of had her involved in every step of the process so that she not only understood how to do it, but understood why she had to do it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. So how did you make small lifestyle changes as a whole family, so that you fall into the stream and you don't have to do something different for her?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we changed a lot. I mean, the obvious things, counting carbs, checking our VGs. But as far as our lifestyle changes, she's always been very active. She's always been into soccer, and so we didn't have to get her to exercise more because she was already active. And we basically have the same diet that we had before, and we just are more conscious of when she can eat, what she can eat, that kind of stuff. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good. So the main stuff when you have type 1 diabetes is like maintaining their highs and lows. So how did she handle the highs and lows when she is even at school or whatever, when you're not around, and how confident is she to handle it by herself?
I would say she's very confident. She's since she was 9 when she was diagnosed, she was already gaining independence and handling other issues at school. So this was just one more thing for her to handle. Obviously, in the beginning, it was a challenge, but since it's been 2 years and it's more of just a routine, she knows if she's high, she has to do this. If she's low, she has to do this. She's very. It's just part of her day-to-day.
Day-to-day life.
Right, and she's been very self-aware to begin with. She was able to identify lows very quickly, so that's helped quite a bit with managing lows and highs. She can also tell when she feels high, and knows to check and then to treat.
That's very good. So as a parent, when you have diabetes, there is a mental stuff that you have to take care. Like there is a lot of mental strength that you need to provide. So how did you fill her with positive attitude and faith from your side?
I think from the very beginning it was probably humor. Learn how to laugh at the things that are terrifying. Learn how to laugh at the little things that come along. If you can induce humor into a lot of situations, I feel, and I think my wife feels as well, that it makes them a little less challenging, a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, even when she was diagnosed in the ER, we were already making jokes, just to let her know that, you know, this is serious, but it's something that we can handle with humor like we do with other challenges in our lives. So.
That's very good as a parent, you know. So the next question here is, tell us some of the best parenting skills that one needs to take to nurture a diabetic child.
Well, I feel like we're dealing with it as a team. We're all on the same team. I think between my husband and I would say 50-50. As far as from the parenting side, as long as we're all working towards the same goal, that's very important. And she knows that we're always here for her. And as she becomes more independent in her care, we've given her the base of it so she can go forward and hopefully be confident.
Right, and I feel like we've always included her in every decision that we make. You know, we talk to each other, we figure out what to do, and then in that, once we have an idea what we're going to do, we'll ask her what she feels like she should do. And a lot of the times, more than half the time, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
If we differ, we ask, well, why did you think that? Or why do you think this? And she'll explain why, and there's a lot of times there's a valid reason, and we'll take her idea and run with it. But if we think not, then we'll explain, well, this is why I think that that's not necessarily the best idea, and just kind of go from there. We do it more as a group, and from that, hope that she learns and how to manage it. And we're learning, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And tell us like some of the things that you learn hard way as a parent in these 2 years.
Well, right after we came home from the hospital, my dad was visiting, and he was sitting in the kitchen, and I was making her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I had the measuring cups out and the, you know, everything, and I was stressed out, and I was freaking out, and he just looked at me and he said, slow down, you know, and that was a really powerful moment for me, because I thought, yeah, I just need to take a breath, let it settle in, and take things a little slower. That way you have less of a chance of messing up or doing something wrong or freaking yourself out even more. So that's something really important. Just, you know, slow down and just make sure you're in the moment before you move on to the next one.
That's very good. Having patience is what is needed in dealing with diabetes.
For sure.
So your final question is your diabetes advocacy in any way to help other people or to teach other guys how to deal with diabetes or raise any awareness. So your diabetes advocacy.
One thing that I've done is I've gotten my company involved. We've been very active in the local JDRF chapter here in Cincinnati. We've worked fairly well. We were very active, I guess, in the JDRF walks. I was actually able to get more than 90% of the people in my company to volunteer for the last walk, and every one of them worked in trying to get donations, and it was very successful, actually. And I couldn't believe how many of them said they wanted to do it again, that they couldn't wait till next year to get involved again, and what more can they do? And one of the funnier comments was someone came up and said, "I had no idea so many kids had diabetes." And I was shocked, I guess, being from the inside of realizing, of course, it is juvenile diabetes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just found it really funny, and
many people think that when the term diabetes, they hear that, they think that it only affects older people. And also that's due to overweight or obesity or whatever. But they don't know that there is other side of the coin, that type 1 diabetes is mostly affected by the juvenile or the kids below 10 years old. So anyway, thank you so much for sharing your experiences.
Sure.
And keep going with the same faith and with the same encouragement that you give for your kid or to other people around you. Thank you so much. You
Thanks,
guys have a nice
Vijay.
day.
thank you very much, Vijay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You too.